afternoon, guys. It's really a pleasure to talk to you, such a bunch of young entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs who would love to, work, and they are dreaming a big about the startup. Today, things have changed so rapidly that startup has become our ecosystem. Everybody is thinking about a startup. Everybody wants to do a startup. Everybody wants to work in a startup, which is phenomenal. I mean, few years back, probably these things were not there. The startups have become success stories. They have become very instrumental in other people to think about the startup. What is the startup really all about? It's an idea. The startup is an idea which is there in somebody's mind who wants to make a real business out of it. Maybe addressing a few pain points of the industry, maybe addressing a pain points of the consumer. But in a nutshell, it's an idea. What does it really work on? It's not a traditional or a conventional industry that you have assets, you have large machines, you have large buildings where you have to work upon, but the asset of a startup is really the people. The people, the bunch of the people who think alike, who believe in an idea, who come together, and you take a plunge into a startup and come with a startup. Going on, probably what is important is really, as you get along on the journey of a startup, how do you get the equally like-minded people to work for a startup? Because ultimately they are the ones who are going to drive the whole business. They are the ones who are going to conquer all the challenges. They are the ones who are going to stand behind you in terms of all the possible issues, all the possible problems. So where do you get these guys from? People is the most important thing as any guy who has to think before along with the idea. Once the idea is there, how do you get these people? Because it's very difficult to attract people to a startup for multiple challenges. Number one, probably everybody wants a job security. Can a startup give a job security? It's a perception. People think the traditional, conventional industry who has been in the business for a long time, who has been showing good results, there is some steady environment. That's the security which is perceived in the mind of a person. Startup does not offer a security instantly as a perceived security. Number two, will I get the salary what I want? Will I get the salary what a traditional, conventional industry is going to offer me? Probably no. All the startups work on very shoestring budgets. So these guys are not going to get such huge salaries which probably otherwise they would get into a manufacturing or any other conventional industry. Challenge 3, what is going to be my role? Startup is all about a bunch of the people coming together, they are working together, they are doing a lot of multitasking, so everybody has to wear multiple hats and work simultaneously on multiple functions. Now, these are really the challenges where a person's mindset is very important, that he is geared up to take this, he is geared up to take a multitasking. The question is, each person may not be of that kind of a nature that he wants to be in such a situation which is a little bit of chaotic, which is a very disorganized. He probably does not want to work there. Now that is another challenge to make it a very convincing for a person that startup is not about chaos. The startup is all about challenging and working together. Number 4, probably it's in the mind of the people, because startup it's a new, right? It's new because people are not aware of the company, there is no brand creation, there is no recall value of the company. So how does one believe that a talented young people will get attracted and you can get them work with you? I think once you clear about these challenges, the next challenge really is that what kind of a people should I look for when I am getting there? Any startup really always has a very niche core A team, which I always call them are the people behind any entrepreneur or any idea which actually drive them out. A core A team or the people, how do you get there? The questions need to be answered are, is he flexible enough? Is he really going to work in a very chaotic situation? Is his mindset so much that he is a very cool guy who is not going to get bogged down with multiple challenges coming across, lot of people pulling him from different sides. He is wearing a multiple hats. Number two, is he really believing in your own idea? Is he the guy who actually thinks that this idea can become big? Is he the guy who thinks that this idea is really towards making a success story? If yes, probably that is the guy whom you should have. Number three, is he willing to put his skin in the game? When I mean the skin in the game, obviously I am referring to a situation where you draw a less salary, but you have got stock options, you have got ESOPs, which ultimately is going to create a value for a person. Does he believe in that? That is what really is the skin in the game. He is a long-term player, probably he should be on board with you. Having said that, it's very difficult to figure it out, where these guys are. When you are trying to hunt for a core A team, I personally will always advocate spend enough time in meeting these guys, spend enough time in doing multiple rounds of meeting. There is no point in just taking a quick decision. These are the guys who are going to be the long horses for you. These are the guys who are going to stick around for you in the entire journey of a startup and see to it that the whole startup reaches to its logical conclusion. Core A team, yes, it's very essential. Why? Because they are not really the people who are masters in their own area, but these guys also need to become leaders. It's one thing to become an expert in your own field, but it is also very important that they should be leaders. What I mean by leaders is really every startup post core A team also require a B team, a C team and a D team. These are the people who are going to develop their line 2, line 3 in their respective department. Are they the people who are who can motivate really the teams, who can really get those guys work together? Also, whether these guys are out-of-box thinkers. Every startup does not have resources, n number of available. These guys have to think always out-of-box ideas, very creative and innovative ideas. They have to motivate their people to work in a manner where they all work in a very synergized things. They should be very good communicator. I think it's very challenging because most of the startups work in a very informal manner, and these are the guys who actually cut down on a communication, but they create a platform, they create a level of understanding with their team members where the communication becomes key. Are these the guys who are good communicators? Are these the guys who really want to know what the other guy is doing? That is what is going to be the key factor in deciding your core A team. You may take time to find out such people, but the good, right kind of people on board is what is going to be your strength. Besides core A team, I think there are few I would say touch points or key points every entrepreneur has to keep it in mind, which is really how are you communicating with your entire staff. It's absolutely dangerous if there is a very high turnover among the people, because every percent of a turnover, whether it is a B or a C or a A class people, is actually pushed back the startup by a few months. A startup cannot afford to get pushed back like this because they are working on a very less budget, their resources are less, and their goals are really big and large. How do you retain these guys? Obviously, money is not what is going to drive them, but what is important is that a very open communication. When I mean by open communication is that the first and the foremost, the golden rule is really share the bad news first with the people. The bad news is something which should not be kept hidden, because that is something when you are sharing it openly, people are going to believe in you that you don't really like to hide things. you are very open with it, you are facing a challenge which you are openly sharing. Second, the communication has to be to a level where there is a lot of direct communication to the lowest possible level by an entrepreneur. It's most of the startups, or rather many of the startups, has got this practice of creating a town hall meetings. I personally have experience, and I have personally implemented this town hall concepts. Great, brilliant. What it does, it's very simple, because when you are talking to the people through an email, it's really a very dry communication. Nobody wants a dry communication. What is important is that in a town hall meeting, when it is a face-to-face interaction between entrepreneurs and the people, what is really going to drive them is that you are going to talk to them, you are going to tell about what the company is currently doing, what is company going to do in the next quarter, probably what is the company's goal year down the line. What are the big plans, what are the challenges, what is the company is going through, and that is what is making them things very clear. I think ambiguity and a loss of information are the two big factors which really contribute to a very high turnover. With these effective ways, I think you can easily cut down on those. They feel confident about it. They will also look up to you. There will be a very open communication. They will ask you questions, and that is what is going to create an atmosphere that this company belongs to them. The future, the growth of the company is nothing but their own future, their own growth, their own aspirations, and what they really want to do in the next career span of a couple of years. I think overall, in a nutshell, if you see, people is something what is very, very critical. I think these are a few of the tips. I would not say these are 100% sure shot formulas to do around, but yes, these are a few of the tips from my own experiences while dealing with the people I have come across where it really makes wonders to it. I think probably I'll touch upon one last aspect, is that if you are especially working on overseas cross-border situations where you have people working abroad, it is absolutely must and necessary that you should spend